how are you? Welcome to my channel. My name is Ruth and today I am doing a video that I saw Hayleigh do and I just thought, oh, that's cool, I love that, I want to try and do that myself. And then I think I saw Becca Hope do it, and I'm sure there's others as well, so I'll make sure to link below, and if you have done it, please let me know so I can link you below as well, because I just love this idea. Laura Force did it as well. And essentially what it was is that Hayleigh got her hubby to come in and just randomly, with no guidance from her whatsoever, pick out 10 palettes from her collection, and she had to then sit down and say whether she now, the person that she is now and the makeup lover and user that she is now, would repurchase it. If for some reason it vanished out of her collection, would she go and repurchase it? Or just, you know, if she never heard of it and saw it come out now, would she repurchase it? And I thought, super, love that. So I said it to Pete and it's like, yeah, sure, why not? It's up for anything that lit. So he picked out 10 palettes. I literally had no guidance, nothing. The only thing I said to him was, don't pick any of my palettes with single eyeshadows, as in, you know, my Z palettes with single, just individual shadows. I said, because they're not a palette you will purchase. Is that grand? So I have my little pile here and I'm very excited to go through it with you. So the first one that he picked is actually one that Deb sent me. Thank you so much, Deb. And it is the Natasha Denona Ayana, I'm not quite sure, I apologise if I've butchered that. 5 eyeshadow palette. And this, I would say, is very cool toned leaning. And I'll be honest with you, it's not something I would ever have thought to purchase, but I just love it. And I can't wait for the autumn months to play with it more and kind of, you know, I'm very much a seasonal makeup wearer, make no bones about it. I know some people aren't, and I wish I was like that, but I'm not. I just enjoy changing my makeup with the seasons, just the way I am. And this to me is very kind of autumn winter. But I cannot wait for autumn winter to come to play with this. Now, caveat, you know what I mean. I'm nearly certain that Deb either got this in like a BoxyCharm or in the pop-up shop or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Deb. And that would be the only circumstance where I would purchase it, I think. Because these ones, because it's not even the mini, you know what I mean. This is her. Is it her midi or full size? I'm not quite sure. But like, I think these are 40 euros. I think they're 40 euros, guys. No, I wouldn't pay 40 euros for 5 eyeshadows. But if I saw it in a pop-up shop or a sale or something like that, then yes, I would. I'd pay maybe 20 euros approximately for it, I think, and that would be well worth it. Maybe 25, because that's how much the minis are. But yeah, it's just, especially these shimmers. I wasn't going to swatch anything, but sure, here you go. I say that and then these shimmers are just so classy or something. I know that's a weird way to describe it, but they're just, yeah, I just really like them. And I just think it's a very cohesive little palette as well, you know what I mean? You could just take that away with you and do a really nice, you know, sophisticated look. Not that I've ever been sophisticated in my life, but I'm sure I could be if I use this palette. But yeah, would repurchase in the perfect scenario. Next up, my niece bought me this for Christmas, and oh, I wanted it so badly, but I was skint at the time. Basically, I had no money, and I was trying so hard to be good. But this is the NYX, and this is the El Professor palette. So this is from a show, I don't know if it's in America or not, on Netflix in America, but it's Money Heist. I think they're doing a Korean version of it now, which I don't know. I'm not hearing the greatest reviews about it, but the Spanish one was just brilliant. I loved it. Broke my heart a couple of times, I won't lie, but just everyone in it was so good. The characters were so good. It's all in Spanish with subtitles. Doesn't bother me. I enjoy subtitle shows. I usedn't, but I do now, and I just loved it. And I love the song. Bella Ciao, I love the song. I have it on my Spotify playlist. It's just the way I am. And when this collection came out, when the last season was launched, I was like, oh man, I want it so bad, but I can't because I got no money. And it's La Casa de Papel, and it like that's the like the mint, the kind of, you know, the place that prints the money. Wow, words. And this is what it looks like on the inside, and it's very much again an autumn palette for me. So I haven't dipped into it too much as yet, but it is something. We Are the Resistance. I would buy it for the tie to the show, and I don't normally do that. I'm very much kind of like, nah, couldn't be arsed. But this, I was just, yeah. Aikido, Buy Time, Selva, Rule Number 1, Sergio, Mastermind, Ciao Ciao Ciao, that's the song, Bella Ciao. See there, and Perfect Plan. I just, yeah. I just love everything about it. I love the colour story. It's such a lovely autumny colour story, you know, dark and moody kind of, and I just enjoyed the thing behind it. Just love it. So yeah, I would repurchase that. Next up is Flower Jungle Lights palette, and this is what this one looks like. And Kim sent me this in our little swap that we did. We did a swap for Paddy's Day, so she sent me brands that I can't really get over here, and I sent her some Irish brands. Oh lads, this is feckin' divine. I need to get my hands on the Desert Lights because these are just ridiculous. These are like indie brand kind of quality, if you know what I mean. Just so soft and smooth and buttery and just beautiful. Would I repurchase this palette all day, every day? 100%. I love it. I just, look, it's not the kind of palette that you use if you are trying to just do one look. I'm sure you could do one shadow looks with it. I'm not a one shadow look kind of girl. I'm just not. It's a palette that you use in conjunction. It's a companion palette. And what a companion palette it is. I mean, come on now, before I wipe them off. Look at, like, what? What? I'm not digging my finger in there or anything, guys. I'm literally just swiping. Stunning, 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 stunning. Love it, love it. Need to get the Jungle Lights, because it's just, the quality is just yum. Yum is what it is. So I'm just getting some micellar water in a mess of the place. Good girl would be. Next up is a Colourpop palette. Now I hope I will be able to get like a stock picture or something like that of this palette, because I have since changed it. This is the Wild Nothing palette. This is what mine looks like now. So it's quite a summery kind of leaning palette. I wouldn't repurchase this. I like the pattern. I think it's very cute and very pretty. I just don't feel... Okay, my problem with Colourpop is it's not easy for me to get over here. So if I could just pop to the shops and maybe pick up a colour story that I liked, then maybe it would be a brand that I would enjoy more. But because it's a pain in the arse to get over here, and there's so much with customs and, you know, all that kind of crack, that it ends up, one, not being as cost efficient as it is for ye in the States, but two, it's not worth the hassle for me. And the formula, that is, the formula for me just isn't worth the hassle. Like, I know this isn't the palette anymore, but I'm just talking Colourpop in general. The only Colourpop palette that I really, really enjoyed the quality of. Let's take Nikki's advice and actually swatch on the camera. Nikki, you're so smart. I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, the only one of the Colourpop palettes that I've truly enjoyed and really just thought, oh yeah, that's a different quality palette, is the Child palette. The Mandalorian, the first one that came out that Danny sent me. That one is gorgeous. That's one I would repurchase in a heartbeat. But any of the rest of them. I just haven't. I have the Golden Coconuts, I've got the Baby Got Peach. They don't do it for me, guys. I'm sorry. I know we've got some die-hard Colourpop fans out there. And look, maybe I just made the wrong choices. But I've been burned enough to not want to go down that avenue again. So no, regardless of what the colour story is or was, I wouldn't repurchase. Next up is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Riviera palette. And we're getting back into the Natasha Denona kind of world here. And what I mean by that is if the price is right. I would not, and I don't have the money, number one, and I'm a little bit of a cheapskate when it comes to makeup. Not a cheapskate, but we can't return things here. So if you spend a fortune on something, that's it, you're stuck with it whether you like it or not. Or whether it suits you or not, or whether it burns the eyeballs off you or whatever it does. And I like to go in and just pick up little bits here and there. That's the kind of makeup shopper that I am. I love little bits and pieces, and kind of being able to go into a drugstore like Boots or Superdrug and be able to pick up a few bits as opposed to just one thing. It's just the way I am. Which is probably wrong because it should be quality over quantity, but there you go. Anywho, not what we're here for. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Riviera palette. Love, love, love the colour story. Gorgeous, beautiful, really, really lovely. Some of the shades are better than others. I enjoy that it is kind of half matte, half shimmer. That pleases me. I like to have a row of mattes and then a row of shimmers. That really, really pleases me. I always loved that concept with Le Roc used to do it. Never came out over here, but I liked the concept of it. There's some shades like this one here, and actually there's a similar shade in the Carly Bible palette as well. They're just a very flaky, glittery mess, and I just not here for it. But the rest of them are quite lovely. So I got this in TK Maxx, and I paid, I think it was €20 for it, or €25. Yes, 100% would purchase again for that price. Would not pay the €50 that it was new. So take what you will out of that. But yes, I do enjoy it. I do greatly enjoy it, and it pleases me to open it and look at it, especially in the summertime. Yeah. So, next up is another Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it is the Jackie Aina palette. And again, this is another one that I got on sale. And it is another one that I wouldn't pay full price for. I didn't, because I waited and waited and waited for it to go on sale and eventually got it. I don't love it. I'll be very honest with you, I don't love it. And the reason being, and I knew this about myself, but look at, I'm swayed, and some of my online friends love it, Hayleigh. And who else loves it? Carolyn loves it as well, Carolyn Nicole on Instagram, and plenty of others. I have very small hooded eyes, and this is quite a dark palette. And dark colours close my eyes off. So I would only be able to use one or two colours at a time, kind of. I'd need other stuff to kind of brighten it up, if that makes sense. So it's not a standalone palette, and when you've that many shades, you kind of hope that it would be. Now look at, I am fully aware, this palette wasn't meant for me, and about feckin' time, you know what I mean? Let's be honest. The makeup community needs to wake up. You know what I mean? And how wonderful that finally, you know, a creator like Jackie Aina got to create this beautiful palette with a big brand. You know what I mean? Wonderful. And I shouldn't have bought it. That's all it is. I shouldn't have bought it. Having said that, I do like it. I do like looking at it. It makes me happy to look at. But, you know, putting it on my eyeballs is different. And I know that's stupid. I know that's stupid. I'm going to have to say that I wouldn't repurchase it. But, quality is fantastic, though. I think I got this very late winter, I want to say, kind of December, January time frame. And I wonder, when autumn comes, will I change my opinion on this? Because it is a very, for me, autumnal palette. And a very kind of, and I could imagine it going into winter, you know, Christmassy kind of colours and that. So maybe my opinion will change then. I'm torn. I don't know. Look at it, I'm that torn. It's not like I actually have to go out and buy it. I'm like, oh God, will I spend the money on it? It's in your collection, you stupid woman. Oh, I'm so caught up in this. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I know that's a bit of a cop-out. I don't know. There you go. There you have it. Next up is the Natasha Denona Love Palette. And this is another favourite of Carolyn's, actually. She likes this one a lot as well. And again, I got this on sale. And that is the only way that I will probably have Natasha Denona in my collection in this size. The problem is, I got this coming towards, or in the middle of actually, 50 Shades of Purple. And in that were a lot of purple eyeshadows. And I know I'm wearing purple today and pink, but that's because I have pink in my fucking Pandas eyeshadows. But I've got a bit burnt out on purples and pinks, and then this came into my life and I'm kind of like, I don't want to play with it really, and that's ridiculous because it was so expensive. And there are some beautiful, beautiful shades in it, really beautiful shades. Again, I feel like I would be better able to say whether I would repurchase it or not after kind of autumn, winter, because again, I feel like it's that kind of a colour tone, the berries, and it is very, very pretty though. But I wouldn't pay full whack for it. No way, Jose. No way. I don't personally think her shadows are worth the price tag. I just don't. That's my personal opinion. But there are very few that I think are worth the price tag. So that too. I'm going to say no. Do you know, if I went on the site and there were 6 others, like the mini retro maybe, or the bronze or something like that, I'd probably choose that over this. But I think I bought, if you saw my haul from France, I bought 3 little mini £5 palettes from her, and I think that's it now. I'm done now with Natasha Denona until I play with those and kind of see what my opinion is. I don't, personally for me, and I even swatched as well the Pat McGrath, one of the Mothership palettes in Sephora in France, and I was like, oh wow, yeah, it's nice, but not 125, nice, just not for me. On she goes. Revolution Makeup, this is the Chilled with the Cannabis Sativa palette, and this is what it looks like. I mean, it has just got all the greens, all the lovely greens. It's got some shadows in there that are nearly super shock in feel. There are 2 and a bit, because one of them, yeah, it is a glitter. Yeah. My dog is angry with the world again. There's 3 glitters in it, which is a pity. Don't like them. But the rest of it I really enjoy. And like that, Revolution is such an affordable brand for me over here. Do you know, this one is beautiful. You probably can't see because it has a little duochrome to it. It's like a goldy green. Oh, it's lovely. It's beautiful. Yeah, this one I would purchase again, I think, because I enjoy the greens that are in it, and I have managed not to buy other palettes because I have this one, if that makes sense. You know, I'll see certain palettes online or wherever for sale, and they'll have a lot of green, or maybe not even that much green. You think it's green, and then you look at it deeply, it's like, oh, that's not as much green as I thought. But this is hitting all my green needs along with 1 or 2 other palettes that I have. So these are kind of the darker, tealy, grungier kind of greens, and I do really enjoy them. So yeah, I would purchase this palette again. I don't like all of Revolution's palettes by any means. I've decluttered many over the years, but this one in the tins seems to be okay, and some of the collab ones are okay as well. Next up is Tati Beauty. Now again, I hope I will have a stock picture, because I've taken all the shadows out and played around, and now it looks like this. For the summer, I kind of make a summer palette out of it. So let's just pretend that you've seen what it actually looks like. You know what it looks like, you've seen it before. Yes, I would. I loved this as, first of all, I loved the glitters in it until they started irritating my eyes, but I think that's just because they're getting old. Shimmers are lovely in it. Yeah, I heard you. You're ferocious brave. Thanks for protecting us. Thanks, bye. Back to bed now. The matte, beautiful. The shimmers, beautiful. Sequin row, could have done without. But it's just such a staple. It's such a... My KVD... What was that one called? Shade and Light palette, the eyeshadow palette. I had that, and that was a great matte palette that would go with everything. Do you know what I mean? You could use it with any other small palettes, but you know what I mean? It was your groundwork, if that makes sense. And this did that as well, but then had the added bonus of the shimmers. And when they were working for me, the glitters were sublime. They were gorgeous. But I suppose whatever binder, whatever was in them, maybe just is hurting my eyes now. I don't know. I don't think anybody else has had issues. I don't think it's an issue with the palette. You can't obviously get it anymore. I used to be a big fan of hers. I'm not anymore. Not just because of all the drama, but I lost... She started to get very... over the top or something, and like all the PR unboxings were just, I don't know, the way she used to do the unboxings, she'd just be throwing stuff everywhere, and I'm like, oh my god, if that was me, I'd be so careful with everything and so appreciative of everything. I just felt a bit, I don't know, not flexing as such, but just a little bit, I felt like she'd lost touch with purchasing makeup, and you know how much things cost and how lucky she was to get all this stuff sent. Anywho, that's, again, we're not here for that. Would I repurchase the palette? Yes, I would. Let's just leave it at that. Now, it costs a lot to get here, costs a lot in customs. If it was a case I could just walk into a shop and purchase it, then that would have been even better. But yeah, I'm glad I still have it in my collection. Have I gone the wrong way? No, I haven't. I have one left. Okay, one left. This is the last one. This is the Be Perfect Cosmetics Dream Big Manifest palette. And when I first got this and just dipped into it once or twice, I was like, don't really love it as much as I thought I would. But the more I play with it, the more I enjoy it. I think my issue is I'm very much a... I don't understand what to do with this. How do I work the colours? Why aren't they all in rows? And that's another thing I loved about the Tatti palette, was just the rows. It's just like, I can just go this row, or I can go, you know what I mean? It was just very easy. But things like this, I'm so confused, I don't know where to start. So what I started to do was pick a colour, look into it and go, right, today I want to do an orange look. This is the colour that is calling to me today, and then work from there to see what goes with it, and that way has worked. But there really are some unusual formulas. It's not just mattes and shimmers. You have kind of duochromes, you have these flaky kind of what are you doing with? You have these flaky duochromy kind of shadows that are so beautiful and impactful. You have some kind of cream to powder kind of formulas that are different. You have just really intense metallics, and some that are just kind of a shimmer. Just it's a really lovely palette, and it's accessible to me. And I you know, I'm a very much I like to go in and I like to look and I like to swatch and I like to, you know, see it in natural light or shop light, whatever you want to call it, as opposed to online kind of filtered pictures and that. So that's a big reason as well as to why I may or may not repurchase something. But yes, I would repurchase this. I don't regret it. It has a ton of shadows in it and a load of different colour schemes, and I just, yeah, I really do enjoy it, I have to say. It's a good one. I would repurchase, and I enjoy the formula of Be Perfect. Yeah, that's the brand. Yeah, that's my 10. This took longer than I anticipated because, as per usual, I go off on tangents. So, what can you take from that? Ruth is a cheapskate. She'll only buy stuff if it's on sale. But that's kind of more or less, I think anything over €40, I struggle to pull the trigger on, because I'm just like, oh, I could buy 3 items, 4 items for that money, you know. And like I said, that's maybe not the best way to be, because, you know, quantity isn't always better than quantity. Quantity isn't always better than quantity, really, Ruth. Quantity isn't always better than quality. Woohoo, I think we're done. I think we're done for the day, guys. Ruth has stopped working. I wish she were working. Did you do this video? Please let me know if you did, because I love the concept of it. It's just so random and so on the spot, kind of, you know. Yeah, I loved it. Please go check out Hayleigh's, Becca's, Laura's, and like I said, if you've done it, please tell me down below so I can tag you, or, dear God, put a link in my description box. She's done, guys, she's done. Thank you so much for watching this video if you did, and hopefully I will chat to you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Slán.